For the waffles, I've taken about 2 cups of whole wheat flour. You can also use plain flour. This is 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar, a little salt to taste, 2 eggs which I've just beaten up well, 2 cups of milk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, a large bowl, and of course a waffle maker. These are easily available on Amazon and they're not very pricey either. Now I'm going to mix all the dry ingredients into the large bowl and I'm going to whisk it really well. And I'm going to mix the wet ingredients in the bowl in which I've beaten up the eggs. Now you can substitute the butter with some clarified butter or ghee. So I'm going to mix in all of the wet ingredients really well. And now I'm going to add the wet ingredients a little at a time to the dry ingredients. And again, we're going to whisk this really to a very, really well to a very smooth batter. There shouldn't be any lumps in the batter. So whisk this really well. Now we're going to set this batter aside for about 10 minutes. It should be really nice and thick like a pancake batter. Now every waffle maker is different, so read the instructions as to how you need to preheat the waffle maker. Now I'm just going to lightly brush this with some butter. Like I said, you can substitute the butter for clarified butter or ghee or even olive oil. And I'm going to put a ladle full of the batter into the waffle maker. Close up the waffle maker and as per the instructions, cook the waffles on one side till they're nice and golden brown. Then I'm going to brush it again with a little bit of butter on the top, turn it over and again, cook it on the other side till they're nice and golden brown. Now once they're done, I'm going to take them out and put them on my plate and put in the next batch, depending on how many waffles you want to make. And then I'm just going to drizzle some lovely maple syrup. You can also use some pancake syrup. Top them with some lovely sliced bananas or strawberries or whatever fruits you have in your kitchen. And I'm going to sprinkle it with some choco chips which I have at hand and some frozen berries. And there you have a lovely breakfast or a lovely snack ready. So I hope you try out this recipe, guys. Recipes. Thanks for stopping by. Hope all of you are having a great day. Well, today's recipe is a chicken wrap recipe. It's very easy to make. All you have to do is just prep up your chicken and your veggies, keep your sauces ready, have a paratha or a puri or a chapati ready, and it gets ready like this. It's a great snack item. It's a great tiffin item for kids to take to school or even when they're hungry anytime in the day, or even for you to take to your office. It's a very easy and handy recipe. You can even make this on the weekends when you don't really feel like cooking. All you have to do is prep your chicken, keep your veggies, which I'm going to show you, ready, and the sauces. Now these sauces are all available in the market, in the supermarket. I got mine when I went to Crawford Market. They have the whole range of sauces over there under the brand of Viva. This is not a sponsored video, but then also I love all the Viva sauces. And it really turns out great, and plus it's a healthy option. You're making it at home for your kids rather than buying a wrap outside, so you know exactly what goes in it. You can even add your own additions, like you can add jalapenos, you can add black olives. The choice is yours. Let's get on with this chicken wrap recipe. So now we're going to make the chicken ready for the chicken wrap. Now here in some olive oil, I've sauteed some chicken. I've used boneless chicken breast till they turn nice and white. And now I'm going to just season it with some ground black pepper and some salt. Then just saute it in the olive oil. And now I'm going to add some chili flakes This is optional. If you don't like it spicy, you can drop the chili flakes. And then I'm going to just add some mixed Italian herbs. You can put in whatever seasoning you require. Now we're going to make the chicken wrap. Now this is just a plain roti, puri, paratha, chapati. If you want to see the recipe of how I've made it, it's at the end of this video. Now we're just going to put the chicken that we've just prepared right in the center of this puri or roti. Now you can use whatever sauces you like according to your preference. There's a wide range. Now I'm adding very finely chopped capsicum or green bell pepper and some finely chopped onion. Now this is some mint mayo which is available in the Viva brand. It is delicious. This is my daughter Ira preparing it. Then you add some mustard sauce. So she was adding the sauces that she likes. My son Aryan made his own and he added the sauces that he liked. This is some Southwest Chipotle sauce, again from Viva. And this is one of my favorites, which is the sweet onion sauce. Now you can add whatever you like. You can add some jalapenos, you can add some olives. Now this is some sriracha and this is the extra hot and spicy one. It's delicious. She was going to add the Tabasco, but then she left it out. If you like Tabasco, you can add that. Now we're just going to add some plain mayo. So you can just play around with it, add whatever you like, drop out whatever you don't like. If you're a vegetarian, then you can go with paneer or tofu. I'm just going to add one cheese slice. We're going to make it into small pieces or small bits or strips rather, and add it. And then all you have to do is just tightly roll up the wrap, cut it up into two so it's easier to eat. So if you want to make this, you can just prep your chicken and keep it in your refrigerator, chop up your veggies, keep your sauces ready, and whenever you're hungry, your kids are hungry, your family is hungry, or you just want to make a quick snack for them, this is the way to go. It's so very easy, and it was so delicious. So you can even add it some shredded carrots, you can put cabbage. You can do whatever you like with this chicken wrap. It's just yummalicious. So for those of you who want to stick around and see how I made the roti or puri or chapati, the dough right from scratch, that is from the dough to how I rolled out the puri and how I roasted it, stick around to the end of the recipe immediately after I show you this chicken wrap. Lovely pics that I've taken because it really is delicious and healthy too. So now I'm going to show you how I make my dough first. Now I've learned this actually my husband's grandmother used to do this. We always make our wheat atta in the milk vessel of the previous day, because that way you can use up all the lovely cream and milk. It makes your dough very soft. This is a trick I learned. So whenever I always I need it in that vessel always. So I just put a little bit, I put the flour as much as I required, the wheat flour, a little bit of water, and after kneading it at the end I just put a little bit of clarified butter or ghee, and then just kneaded it till it was nice and soft yet very firm. Okay, now my tawa or my pan is nice and hot on a low to medium flame. I've just rolled out a small bit of the dough into a ball and I have just put it on my chapati, the thing we roll our chapati on. And I'm just going to be adding a little bit of ghee or toop or clarified butter, fold it up into four, just dust a little more of flour and just roll it out. Now another trick, if you want to get a nice evenly shaped, even chapati or puri or roti, always roll it at the end. Don't roll from the center, roll the edges out, and automatically your puri or your chapati or roti is going to be really even all over. And then just give it the shape of your disc on which you are rolling it out. And you can see that the dough is so nice and elastic that I can easily lift it up. There's no problem, it's not breaking. So that also comes with practice. And now just roast it on one side. I mean, there's no real measurement as to how much of water I use to how much of the flour. It all depends. It just comes with practice. You got to practice a little every day, so then you come to know, okay, what is the consistency that you like. So now I'm just going to roast it on both sides, and then you see it starts fluffing up. I always like to make these rotis or puris fresh. I don't like to make them in the morning for the evening or make them in the morning for lunch. I always like to serve hot puris when we sit to eat. There's nothing like a hot puri with a little bit of clarified butter all over. And that's it, it's all ready. So you can eat this, just as it is, or you can just smear some jam on it or have it, or you can make it into the chicken wrap, or you can just put some chaat masala and a little bit of salt and toop and roll it up and have it. It's just amazing. So our rotis are ready. I hope you guys liked this recipe. Do try it out and do let Let's go through the ingredients for this very easy and simple cheese pav bhaji. I'm going to be using 2 medium onions, 1 large onion chopped very fine, 2 large potatoes which I've boiled and peeled and grated. You can also mash it. Here is 1 medium sized capsicum or bell pepper cut fine, 1 medium tomato cut fine. This is 1 lime, so I'm going to be using the juice of 1 lime. This is 2 to 3 tablespoons of pav bhaji masala, 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder, some coriander leaves and salt to taste, and of course the grated cheese and some ginger garlic paste. So let's begin making this very simple and quick and very easy, delicious pav bhaji. Now I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons of oil in a large pot or pan. Once our oil is hot, we're going to add our onions. And we're going to give these onions a very good fry. This is very key in any pav bhaji. You want to fry your onions, your ginger garlic, and your capsicums really well. So you can keep your flame between medium to high, not a very high flame, but between medium and high, and you're going to keep an eye on your onions and you're going to fry them very well. Now we're going to add some ginger garlic paste, about 2 teaspoons. I have a recipe for homemade ginger garlic paste which has a very long shelf life. I will leave a link in the description box below. So we're going to fry this really well till all the rawness of the onions and the ginger garlic goes away, and we have a lovely aroma of this lovely fried ginger garlic and onions. So once that is done, we're now going to add in our capsicum or bell pepper. This adds a lovely flavor to this pav bhaji. I use just a few ingredients, but the end result is just amazing. Now we're going to add the tomatoes. Give that also a very good fry. Frying everything, keeping an eye on it, and frying on a medium to high flame is very important to get that perfect pav bhaji. So now we're going to add the pav bhaji masala. You can use any brand and fry it very well. I will be coming up with a recipe for homemade pav bhaji powder masala very soon. Now I'm going to be adding the Kashmiri red chili powder. This adds a lovely color to the pav bhaji. Now if you want to go with a more spicy pav bhaji, then you can add 1 teaspoon of regular red chili powder. Because the pav bhaji masala also has a little bit of spiciness in it, but if you want to go one step ahead, you can add 1 teaspoon of red chili powder. So now once everything is really very well fried, we're going to add about 1 cup of water at room temperature. What this does is just cooks up everything really well and, makes everything just perfect. So add that water and then put your flame on high and let the water start bubbling. Keep stirring it for some time. Now it's always good to use a large pot for your pav bhaji. And now we're going to add grated potatoes, or you can even mash them up, but just ensure there are not many lumps in your potatoes. And then just give everything a good mix. We're still keeping our flame a little on the higher side, medium to high. Give everything a very, very good mix. And now it's time to get the masher out, and we're going to be mashing this really, really well. So you get this pav bhaji masher. It's easily available in any general store. So just give this a good mash. We want it to be really nicely pulped down. Okay, now we're going to add some more water. So I'm going to add about 2 cups of water. And we are going to give everything a very good mix. Now, if you feel that you want it even more finer, you can continue mashing it till you get a very, very, very fine consistency. You know how you really like to have your pav bhaji. It shouldn't be mixer kind of ground and pulped, but with the masher. And once that is done, we're going to let it cook for about a minute or 2. And now it's time to add some salt to taste. You can start with 1 teaspoon and just taste it. And if you want some more, then you can add some more too. Now mix all of this very, very well together. And now we're going to just put a lid on it, cover it up, and cook it on a very low flame for about 10 minutes. Because everything has to really come together like this. So now all you have to do is just turn off the flame and add a nice big garnish of some chopped coriander. And then we're going to squeeze some lovely lemon. You can add a dollop of butter to it. And now it's time to nicely put butter on both sides of your pav and just give it a nice toast. And then just serve up this pav bhaji with this lovely pav with some nice, very finely chopped onions and some grated cheese. And don't forget which has no butter in it either. So here I have 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour or maida. We're going to use just a pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons of clarified butter, and 1/4 cup of water. Now I'm just going to empty the flour onto my work surface, and I'm going to add a pinch of salt, and then I'm going to add the clarified butter or the ghee into the flour, and then with my fingertips I'm just going to let all of the ghee get really into the maida till it starts to resemble breadcrumbs. So this should take you about 3 whole minutes, but do this process. It's very important to get that lovely light puff pastry. And now you can see that all of the ghee has got into the maida. Now you're just going to add a little water at a time, and you're going to knead this into a nice firm yet elastic dough. So it shouldn't be a soggy dough, it shouldn't be a very dry dough. It should be a real soft dough and very, very elastic. So take your time with it and keep kneading it really, really well till it becomes really nice and soft. And then you're just going to set it aside and let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now in the meantime, we're going to prepare a mixture of 1/2 cup of corn flour and 1/4 cup of clarified butter or ghee. And you're going to mix this really well using a whisk or a fork till it becomes very light and creamy. So this took me about 5 minutes, but this is also very important. And now I'm going to dust my work surface with some flour, and I'm going to roll out the dough, and I'm going to cut it up into exactly 6 pieces, 6 portions, and we're going to really knead this well till it forms nice smooth balls. So this is an eggless recipe. It has no butter at all, so it just has clarified butter. So once the balls are ready, again you're going to dust a little bit of flour on your work surface, and you're going to roll out each of these 6 balls into very thin sheets like this, or rotis. And since it's very elastic, it's very easy to work with. It has a different consistency, so roll all of these 6 sheets and just keep them aside. Now I'm going to put a little bit of that corn flour and ghee mixture that we prepared, rub it all over the sheet really, really well to all of the corners. And then you're going to place one of the other sheet on top of it and just bring it to the same shape. Now you can roll all your sheets out, or like I am doing, I'm rolling one at a time, and because of the space. And then again I'm going to add a little more of that corn flour and ghee mixture, spread it out, and then take those 2 sheets, place it on top, and then again roll it till they all come together. So in this way we're going to repeat the process till we are done with all of the 6 sheets. So now we're done with all of the 6 sheets. So now just put the remaining paste on top of this, on top of the topmost sheet, and then just fold it up like this. And then you're just going to roll it out as flat as possible. That way all the sheets have come together. And then you're just going to roll it out into a big sheet like this as much as you can. And it's so elastic. Once you make this, you'll realize how easy this is to work with. And then just fold it in this manner. So let's start with this beautiful recipe of baklava. Now I'm going to make my sugar syrup. So I've taken about 1 cup of sugar and 1/2 cup of water, and I'm going to stir the sugar on a low to medium heat till all of the sugar dissolves. Then I'm going to let the syrup thicken for about 10 to 15 minutes till it nice and starts to thicken up a bit. Now you have to cook this syrup on a low to medium heat Now you can see that the water is dropping in segments. But the minute the water starts streaming into a single kind of stream, that means your syrup is ready. So let it cool. This is how it should be, of this consistency. There shouldn't be any gaps when you're pouring it. So our syrup is all ready. Now I'm just going to chop up some pistachios really, really fine. So I've used about half a cup. Now again, I'm going to do the same thing with my almonds. I'm going to chop them really, really fine. Okay, now I'm going to take my puff pastry. I'm going to use altogether about half a kilo of puff pastry, and they come in sheets. So I'm going to cut up each sheet like this into two. I'm going to layer it like this. Then I'm going to, make it into a perfect square. Not exactly a perfect square, but a kind of a square, guys. You get the idea. Cut it up into four. Again, apply some butter. And again, I'm going to roll this out into a very thin sheet. So this is, I'm giving you a closer look. Just apply butter to the four sheets like this. And then roll it up into a square. Now I've buttered up my tray with a little, greased it rather with a little butter. So we want the dimension of this square to be of the tray. So once you've rolled it out, smoothen out the edges. And then just lift the pastry like this and lay it over the tray. And then just cut off the excess. So this was a team effort. Me and my husband Abhijit were both doing it together. And then again brush it with a little bit of butter. And we're going to do this for 3 layers, okay? 3 layers are going to be in this way. It is a little bit of effort, guys, but the end result is really, you want to make it all the time. And this is definitely not for the people, the faint-hearted and the health conscious, because it's got a lot of butter. But you can have this once in a way, guys. It's okay to have something like this once in a way. So after you finish with 3 layers, we're going to butter the top layer. And then we're going to put all of the pistachios and the almonds. See that they're really finely chopped, guys. Now I've used ready-made puff pastry. So this is how it looks. And then I'm going to repeat this with another 2 layers of the puff pastry, doing the same thing as I showed you all before, buttering it in between and then again putting it on top. And then now the final layer, we're going to brush it with a butter. This is the final. So altogether we have 5 layers. And then we're going to cut them up into even size squares like this. Now preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to pour the remaining butter and I'm going to bake this for 10 minutes on a on the lower rack, and then again I'm going to shift it to the middle rack. So each oven is different, so it might take you 10 minutes, it might take you 15 minutes. Just keep an eye. The minute it starts to become golden brown, you know that your baklava is ready. So it took me exactly 20 minutes. 10 minutes on the lower rack and 10 minutes on the middle rack. And you can actually see it fluffing up like this. And then, after some time, it just starts turning beautiful and, it becomes golden brown in color. So once that is done, just take it out of the oven. Oh my God, the aroma in my kitchen is heavenly. You can see how beautifully it's baked. And now what you're going to do is just pour the thick sugar syrup all over it. And that's it, guys. Your baklava is ready. So the minute it's at room temperature and you're able to cut it out of the tray, just dig into it. It's seriously little pieces of heaven. So you can make this, once in a way and really enjoy this treat. Hope you try out this recipe, guys. Let me know in the comment section below.